What's up, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about 5 changes that you can instantly make today that will immediately help you be more successful in pretty much every aspect of your life. The last one is it's my favorite, so make sure you watch the whole video to see that. So anyway, let's just jump right in. First thing on the list is spending the 30 minutes before bed and when you wake up effectively. There's this podcast, I think it was a podcast, might have been a book I read recently, and the guy talked about your power hour. And your power hour is basically just how do you spend the first 30 minutes when you wake up and the last 30 minutes before you go to bed. Because those are really what dictate how you start and how you end things. Like, how are you starting your day and how are you ending it? And if you spend it well, like let's say journaling, drinking water, doing healthy things, reading, exercising, probably not at night, but that either sets your entire day up for success, or if it's the 30 minutes before bed, it closes the day in a way that's really well. And that's how you remember that day, that you did something successful. You don't remember scrolling on your phone. So for me, for example, I used to consistently be on my phone for 30 minutes before bed or more, and 30 minutes when I woke up. And it really, really negatively influenced the rest of my life. And I could feel it. It just completely dragged me down, and it made everything a lot worse. The next thing on the list is to cut out weak language. This is one of the main things I struggle with. I say the word like so much. I say it between words, after words. It's one of those filler words that I really struggle with a lot. So make sure that this is something that you can, instantly help you with. Make sure that you speak confidently and you don't use filler words such as like. I was about to say like, which is so insane. Make sure you're cutting out those words. Try and not say like. Even try and not say maybe. Just try and say more assertive things. It not only does it help how other people perceive you, but it can actually rewire your own brain to make you more confident. You can kind of trick your brain into making yourself feel more confident. The third thing on the list is start writing everything down. Your brain is for thinking and it's not for storage. And when your brain has all these different things that you're trying to remember and trying to keep up with, it actually, science has shown that it will actually reduce your cognitive function. So try and keep your brain fresh. Try and keep it remembering and thinking about the things that matter. So for example, passwords that you're not going to actually remember, you don't really need to remember. Make sure you write those down. There we go. Don't say that. So make sure you're writing a lot of stuff down. Write down phone numbers. Write down helpful reminders. Don't try and remember things that you need. Don't try and remember, I need to call so-and-so to talk about this. Write it down. Set an alarm on your phone. Make it so you can know in your brain, okay, I don't need to think about that. I have an automated thing that's going to remind me, or I've written it down, so that'll help me. And that's a really, really important one. I started doing this recently, and it's been so helpful because I'm one that's very prone to forgetting, and it's made me remember the things that I need to remember more that I haven't written down. And then the ones that I do write down, they're written down, and I'll set an alarm, and I never forget them, so it's helped me out a ton. Number 4 is to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. So there's 2 things that can happen in your life. You can either you have things happen to you, and you do things. So people say this all the time, but it's really true. The things that happen to you, you can't control. You can't control it if you're sitting at a red light and someone just randomly rear ends you. However, what you can control is how you react. So you could either complain, yell, scream about it, or you can handle, let's say, that situation very professionally, trade insurance information, go about your day, and do that. This also is for, times where maybe you felt you were wronged in some way, or times where you weren't keeping up with something that you said you were going to keep up with, like I'm going to go to the gym every day, or I'm going to eat healthy. If you're not eating healthy, it is nobody's fault but yours. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It is nobody's fault but yours. And that doesn't mean that it's absolutely unacceptable that you weren't. Maybe there really were circumstances that made it so you could not eat, or it was harder for you to eat healthy, or exercise regularly. However, that doesn't change the fact that it was still your fault at the end of the day. You cannot blame somebody else for that. So this is a really important one. This is something that I would say I'm very good at. I've not really struggled with this. I'm very good at taking responsibility for things. I think this is because I have a lot of mess ups in my life. I'm not really in a place where I can blame other people. I forget things a lot. I do a lot of things like that, and I've just trained myself to be good at taking responsibility, and it really helps me a lot. And the fifth one and last one on the list, and the one that I think is the most important, and you can do pretty much instantly, is change your environment. And this doesn't have to be drastic. I'm not saying you should move to a different country or a different state, but let's say your room is messy or your house is messy. Clean it up. Clean up your house, clean up your room, clean up your car. This cleaning up things makes you more productive. It makes it so you feel more creative. You have more space to breathe mentally and physically. So you're not cramped, you don't feel boxed in. And this can really help. This can really help your cognitive function, your confidence. You can kind of just tell, like for example, I work at a restaurant and I see people all the time that come in to eat. I could say with almost 80% certainty how people's houses look and how their personal spaces look just by seeing the people and how they dress. It works both ways. I know that because some people present themselves in a certain way, their space is really messy. And I also know for a fact that if I go into somebody's house that's absolutely immaculate, I know that if they go out to eat or go to a restaurant or go really anywhere, they're gonna look put together. They're gonna look, good in however they look. And that's because their environment's good. That's because their inner environment's good. Like they've got their mind in the right place as well as their physical environment. So they have everything clean, everything in order. And I think that's an extremely important thing. This also goes for the kind of relationships that you have, because that also is your environment at the end of the day. So if you have a really toxic friend group, toxic relationship, try and work that out, try and clean that out. If that means not talking to some people anymore, that is what needs to happen in the long run for you as an individual to improve and to progress on your human journey. So that's probably the most important one on this list. And all right guys, thank you for watching.